Question 10 is about perpendiculars and distance. Here they have given you equations and you need to find the distance between the lines. Now these are very simple because they are just vertical or horizontal lines, right? Let's graph them up. So y is equal to 7 means somewhere over here, a straight line, and minus 1 is somewhere over here, a straight line. What is the distance? Distance is always the perpendicular distance, the straight line, 90 degree. So over here it's 7 and you need to add even this 1 and 7. How much is it? 8. So the distance is 8 here. Very simple, right? What about this x1? It's the same thing, but its lines are like this. I'll draw it in black color. Minus 6 is somewhere over here and positive 5 is somewhere over here. So add the distances up. Total distance will be 5, and though it's minus, it's the distance between these two lines, right? You just add the distance. 6 plus 5 will be 11, so the 11 is the answer over here. 8 units for the first one, 11 units for the second one. These are easy ones, but what if equation comes? Now for these type of equations, when equations are given, not just a single line, it is not easy to solve it directly. There is one method. If there is one intercept of 0, see now this is at 0, nothing is there, right? And then this value is there, then the answer will be root 10 for this. But it's not possible to solve for other values. If say over here plus 6, then it's not possible to use that. So let's look into the method, how exactly we can solve it. First thing, let's draw a rough sketch of this. Since it is having an intercept 0, it passes over here. Now this is not accurate. I'm just drawing a rough figure. Okay, these are two parallel lines. They have given parallel lines, obviously, so slopes are same. The distance between these two, it's not this vertical distance because they are tilted like this. You need to find the perpendicular distance between the lines, 90 and 90. You can't just count, okay, from year to year, how much is it? 0 to 10. It's not 10. It is this perpendicular distance. Now, how exactly you will find it? There are ways to do Pythagoras theorem, but those are very confusing, you know. So the easiest way is simply this. This is a line, parallel line. This is a parallel line. Let me just change the color over here. So let me draw it in blue. So this and this over here will have a perpendicular line in between. In this sense, this line is perpendicular. It will be 90 degrees, right? So we can find the equation of this because we know the equations of the other two lines. The parallel lines we know. What will be the perpendicular line? So we can tell the slope will be reciprocal, negative reciprocal. The slope of this line, I can directly tell will be m is equal to negative 1 by 3 because it's reciprocal of this, negative reciprocal. But what about these points? That's an issue, right? I don't know what are the points of intersection. But we need to draw a line, perpendicular line, such that it touches these both points, isn't it? So now take the first equation. Take the first equation and take x is equal to 0. Start with x is equal to 0. Doesn't matter. And then what is y value here? If x is 0, y is also 0. You can put it in the calculator. 3 into 0, it will be 0. So what we will do is we will draw this perpendicular. We can draw it anywhere. I can draw it over here, here. But what I will do is I'll draw it at 0, 0 at this point only. So I will draw this perpendicular from here to here. I don't know this point, but I know one point of intersection. So now I know this perpendicular, whatever I will draw, will have a slope of negative 1 by 3 and it should pass by 0 and 0. So now let's write the equation of this perpendicular line. The formula is y minus y1 equals m into x minus x1. Now substitute the values. What is y1? This is y1, x1. And what is m? Negative 1/3, x minus 0 again. So the answer is y is equal to negative 1/3 x. So this is the equation of the perpendicular line. Now this perpendicular line is touching the one of the parallel line 3x at 0, 0. So we have the point of intersection for this. It's 0, 0. But what about this line? We have no clue, right? I can't just take 0 over here. If it's 0, this is wrong. So now I realize the figure, what I've drawn, is not accurate. The perpendicular line touches this equation 3x, right? So it should be this line, see, like this. Why? Because 0 0 is this point, guys. Okay, this intersection point I know for this equation. See, this is 3x. Now this is 3x plus 10. Now if it was this point also you can do it, but better to take the first equation itself. Now I need to find this point of intersection over here. Can you see this point? I have to find this point of intersection. I have no clue, but I know the equation of this line. I know this point of intersection. Once I find this point of intersection, x and y, I can use distance formula and find the distance between them. But what is this point? Look, I have the equation of the perpendicular line, right? It's over here. I know the equation of this particular line, parallel line, right? What is that? It's over here. So in order to find the point of intersection here, I know what is this parallel line. I know this perpendicular line. So all I do is I equate those both equation. In the sense, this y, I equated this y. When I equate, what happens? It becomes 3x plus 10 is equal to negative 1/3 x, right? Now if I solve over here, whatever the x value is for this point of intersection, that x value I'll find out. Then I can easily find y. So let me find the x value. Let me equate these both and solve. So one more thing, just for knowledge, if you have two equations, they intersect at one point. If you equate the both equations together, you find the point of intersection's x value. So same thing we are doing over here. Now let's solve it. Bring it to the other side. 3x plus 1/3 x is equal to minus 10 when it goes to the other side. 3 plus 1, it will be 9 by 3, it will be 10. You can just use the calculator. 3 plus 1/3, it's going to be 9 by 3 plus 1 by 3, it's going to be 10 by 3x equals negative 10. So this cancels, take the 3 to the other side, x is equal to negative 3. So this point of intersection is minus 3. So what is the y value? Here, if you substitute x as minus 3, what do you get? It will be 3 times minus 3 plus 10. It will be negative 9 plus 10, that is 1. So the intersection point is, your y point is 1. So intersection point is negative 3, 1. For this particular equation, second one, minus 3 and 1. The first one was 0, 0. So now what does this points tell us? These points tell us distance between these two is the perpendicular distance. Perpendicular distance means that's the distance. You can't find any distance. You have to find, if you have 2 point lines like this, to find the distance, you always have to find the perpendicular distance, which is 90 degrees. That's the altitude or the height. So this is the thing. Now you have the two coordinate points, right? Let us use the distance formula and solve it. I'll just take this off. And over here, we will now use the distance formula. I hope you remember that. It is square root of x2 minus x1 the whole square plus y2 minus y1 the whole square. You can assume anyone as x1, y1. I'll take this as x1, y1, x2, y2. Or other way around is easier, but anyways. x2 is 0 minus, what happens to x1? Minus 3 the whole square plus y2 is 0 minus 1 the whole square. You can put this directly in calculator and get the answer. It'll be plus 3 squared is 9 plus 1 square root 10 is the final answer. So this is how we solve it. We will do one more problem. We will do a couple more problems on this. So first step is understanding where they lie. So understanding a basic equation, even if you don't do the graph, you can directly do it by following the step, that is taking a perpendicular line slope, just whatever is there, take a perpendicular slope, that is negative reciprocal. Then find any point, just substitute x as 0, that's the easiest one, x as 0, and find y value. It will be 0 only over here. So use that point as one of the points of the slope and find the equation of this line. You found the equation, and then we equated that with the other equation to find the intersection point x value, and then once you find x value, you can find y value and find the distance. It's not that easy, but these are the steps. Over here you find the equation of the perpendicular line, find the equation, slope of the perpendicular line, then the equation, and then the intersection points with the other line, x and y value, and then what you do is you just find the distance between them. That's how we get the answer. Root 10 or 3.16 is the answer. This one is same. Now, if at all you get in your exam like this with 0 over here, the answer is just a root of the 26. You can see the final answer here. When you solve it up, this is the answer. Root 26 is the answer, 5.1 units. But this method will not work over here. What you have to do, we have to do the methods. Now let's do it from beginning without the graph, only what you need to do in the exam now. So here, first take this equation, the first equation, sorry for the line, over here. And now what I will do is I'll assume x is equal to 0. So what is y value? Put x of 0 and y will be only 9. Sorry, 9 over here. This is the answer. Now x0, y9. What else can you do? You can find the slope of the perpendicular line. Slope will be -1. Why? Because it's the negative reciprocal. Here the slope is 1. So this all information I can use for the perpendicular line. So I'll use the formula y minus y1 is equal to m into x minus x1. And here substitute y minus 9 will be equal to minus 1 times x minus 0. So y minus 9 is equal to negative x, or y is equal to negative x plus 9. So this is the perpendicular line equation. Now this equation you have to equate to the next line. See, I already used this one. You can start with the other equation, but it's better to start with the first equation and then now use this to equate it. I'll equate that. X plus 3 here is equal to minus x plus 9. Take this to the other side. It's going to be x plus x is equal to 9 minus 3. 2x is equal to 6. X is equal to 3. So the point of intersection over here we have already, right? 0 and 9, because we took this as the intersection point and drew the perpendicular line. Now here the x value is 3. What is the y value? If x is 3, y will be 3 plus 3, that is 6. Now we have x1, x2, x1, y1, x2, y2. Use the distance formula, square root x2 minus x1 the whole square plus y2 minus y1 the whole square, and you will get the answer. Substitute it over here. It is x2 is 3 plus, minus 0 whole square plus y2 is 6 minus 3 the whole square. Now here the answer will be 3 square, that's 9, plus 6 minus 3 is again 3 square, that is again 9. Y1 is 9. Okay, I don't know why I wrote that 3. So again it will be minus 3 the whole square, it will still be 9 only. Now it will be 9 plus 9, that is root of 18 is the answer. That's the correct answer. Let's solve it up. Let's check the answer. That's it. This is the distance. You can see here we found out the equation of the perpendicular line. Then we find where it, the intersection point, and then we find the distance. And it was root 18. You can leave it like this, but the option, if it's not that, it might be 3 root 2 or 4.24. Both are the correct answers. You can just put in the calculator, use the square root 18. You will directly get 3 root 2, or if you press SD over here, you get 4.24. Similarly, you can solve this problem. Here you can't do the direct methods. You have to use the equation of the perpendicular line and solve it up. Same problem. Here is the intersection points, and then lastly we have distance. That's the answer. Now here also it's the same thing, but I'll solve this one. Only thing is it's a rearranged. The equation needs to be rearranged. First one is all fine. The second one needs to be written as y equals, take this x to the other side, positive x minus 60, and this 4 is there, right? Divide throughout by 4. Y is equal to 1/4 x minus 60 divided by 4 is 15. And now these are the two equations. They are parallel lines. First one over here, take x is equal to 0. What is y? If x is 0, this is gone. Y is 2. and the slope of the perpendicular line is m equals negative reciprocal negative 4. So I'll find the equation of the perpendicular line now. Y minus y1 is equal to m into x minus x1. Substitute over here, y is as it is, minus 2 equals minus 4 times x minus 0. Negative 4x, y minus 2, y is equal to negative 4x plus 2. That's the equation. Now what you need to do is equate it with this particular equation over here and over here. So 1/4 x minus 15 is equal to negative 4x plus 2. Take the x's to the one side. 1/4 x plus 4x. Why? Because this goes to the other side and becomes positive. Here it will be positive 15 plus 2. Now here you can multiply both the sides by 4. It will be 1 by 4x plus 16 by 4. X is equal to 17. What is this? 1 plus 16 is 17 by 4. X is equal to 17. This can cancel off. 4 goes to the other sides. It will be 1/4 x equals 1, or x is equal to 4. Take the 4 to the other side. So now that is basically the point of intersection for this line. See, over here it is 0, 2, right? Here it is 4, what is the y value? You substitute the y over here. Sorry, this is the equation, right? X is 4. We found out to be 4. What will be the y value? If x is 4 here, 1/4 into 4 minus 15 cancels. 1 minus 4, it will be negative 14. So y value is negative 14. So x1, y1, x2, y2. Use the distance formula. It will be x2 minus x1. So it is 4 minus 0 the whole square plus negative 14 minus 2 the whole square. Now here it will be 4 square is 16. And over here what happens is minus 14 minus 12, it's minus 16 the whole square. Now over here use your calculator. It is 16 minus 16 squared is about 250, 264 or something. Better to use a calculator. All you have to do is type it out. I checked 16 squared is 256. Now what was the error? Over here I have written the formula wrong. You can't have minus. It was a negative number. It will be imaginary. It's plus. The formula must be correct. Now this is the final answer. See over here I've written the main formula correct, but while I was writing I've written it wrong. So it was 256. The answer is 4 root 17. That's the distance. So that is how we do it. You know, you have 3 main steps: finding the equation of the perpendicular line, equating it with the other equation and finding the intersection point. Then with the coordinates, whatever coordinates you get over here, find the distance between them. It is 16.5. You can say 49. So that's the answer. Here you can see all the step-by-step methods are there. And lastly over here, it is 16.49 units. This one also, please do solve it by yourselves, but I'll just rearrange both the equations and write it in slope-intercept form. It'll be y is equal to minus 3x plus 3. Over here it's going to be y is equal to minus 3x minus 17. And over here what happens? First equation, just assume x as 0 and y will be 3, because x is 0, y is remaining 3. What is the slope for the perpendicular line? It will be positive 1/3. That's negative reciprocal of minus 3. And then the same steps you can solve it up. Here you can see the method. The equation over here will be 1/3 x. See, this is the slope plus 3. And then what you have to do is you have to equate it with the other equation and solve for the x and y value. You get minus 6 and 1. Now just find the distance between 0 and 3 is 1 point. Minus 6 and 1 is the other point. It's 2 root 10 or 6.32 units. Here as well, let me just rearrange this. You know, it's the same concept, just that the values are a little weird. This is in slope-intercept form. Next one is 4y is equal to minus 5x plus 10.6. Now divide throughout by 4, you get minus 5 by 4x plus 10.6 by 4. You can just put in the calculator and you get the value. And over here, assume for the first equation 0 And then what is y value? It's 3.5. X is 0. And then m will be over here negative reciprocal, so it will be positive 4 by 5. So this is the required information for the perpendicular line. From this you can easily find the perpendicular line. See over here, that's the perpendicular line. And then we have to find equation of these both, right? Equate them. 10.6 divided by 4 is 2.65. And I've done a major mistake over here. Sorry, I apologize for that. What did I do wrong? Here, plus goes to the other side. It should become minus. So that is minus over here. If you have written the sign wrong, your entire answer will be wrong itself. So it's minus. So you can see that that's the equation over here. Negative 5 by 4x minus 10.6 by 4 is 2.65. And then equated with the equation of the perpendicular line, you will get minus 3 as x, and then solve for y. And then this is the point of intersection for the second equation. And distance between that is over here. It's 3.84 units. So please go through the others. Okay, now these are little different type of problems. In fact, these are easy. Because you have a single line, you can easily graph it up. What is the y value? Y is minus 3. So somewhere over here will be the graph. Okay, this is minus 3. Now what is the other point you have? 5, 2. You need to find the distance for the line for the given at this point, right? Let's plot this point. 5, x is 5 and 2 is over here. So from this point, what is the distance? You're not concerned with the equation of this line. You're just finding this distance. So over here x is 2 and below it's 3. It's 5 units. That's it. You can do using equations as well, what we just now studied, right? You can substitute one equation, this, that. But no need, you know. Equations from this is not required. Finding the slope and all. Directly use it up. Because over here slope is 0. You can use slope of 0 and find the equation. But you know the final answer is how much? 5 units. And it's MCQ, so you don't need to do any method. Directly the answer is enough. Even over here. Okay, now over here the equation is given. So this is positive slopes and plus 6, something like this will be the equation. It's not a proper equation, but around this, approximated. Now for such problems, right, first let's do a check. Substitute minus x over here and solve. Minus x. What is the answer for y? It will cancel. It will be minus 1 plus 6. Answer is positive 5. Look here. For this equation at minus 6, you will have 5. So this is 5. This is minus 6. That means this particular point is on that equation. Otherwise, you have to find somewhere over here. Then you can find the distance. Okay. But since it's on the equation, what is the units? It's like 0 units. There is no distance because it's lying on the same line. You can even do by equation over here, this method. Now you can use the distance formula, and since both the points are same, the distance formula gives you 0 units, means it's lying on the same line. That's the reason. Mostly you'll get 2 proper equations and you will have to solve. Now this is also again a simple one. Over here x is 4. Now all the coordinates are becoming crooked, sorry for that. Here it's 4. And what's the other point? It's minus 2 somewhere over here and 5, positive 5. Minus 2 is this, somewhere over here. So let's see what is the distance between these two. From here to here it's minus 2, but take it as distance 2 and 4. So add them up, it will be 6 units is the distance, right? Or measure, just count. From 4 to 0 it's 4 units, 5, 6 units. So that's the answer. And you can do the equation and stuff and still get the same answer. So that is the end of this question. Question 10. It was a lengthy one. Please make sure you understand the steps for the first, if the 2 equations are given. There's only 3 steps. Understand those 3 steps properly, solve some problems by yourselves, and then this will be an easy topic as well.